Hello everyone, Brock here. I just wanted to take a quick opportunity to give you a rundown on your written assignment task. So as you can see, we're looking at the task sheet at the moment, and the aim is for you guys to demonstrate your knowledge and understanding of the first 5 weeks of anatomy and physiology. So that would involve the cardiovascular system and the respiratory system. So what's going to happen is you're going to have 4 different scenarios presented to you. You are then going to answer a series of sub-questions related to that scenario. The assignment is 1,000 words total, so it is recommended that you do around 200 to 250 words per scenario. So you will need to be very mindful of your response and be concise with your words. You may use the recommended anatomy and physiology textbook as well as any other sort of advisable websites or journal articles. Okay, these must be reputable sources. When you are constructing your responses, please do not include the actual scenario itself, because the problem there is that when you submit your assignment, it's going to flag it for plagiarism. So please just create a new document and clearly outline, scenario 1 and your response, and then scenario 2, 3, and 4. Now, your in-text referencing will count towards the word limit. However, your bibliography will not. Please note too that there should be absolutely no quotations, okay? I am not interested in quotes from other websites. I want to hear your information, okay? I want to hear your understanding, not what someone else wrote in another journal article or textbook. Now, images for this assignment are not required, okay? The 200 to 250 word response should be more than enough. Now, this should be written in academic language. This means that you are writing things in the third person. You should not be including words like me, I, this, that, those, okay? These more ambiguous terms, okay? You must use proper academic writing. And you are to submit your assignment via Turnitin link, which can be found on the 1808 Moodle page. Now, this will be scanned for plagiarism. So guys, I cannot be more clear here that this must be in your own words. Do not just copy paste from a website. Do not just copy paste from journal articles or textbooks or your friend's assignment, okay? It will be picked up by this software and you will be caught. The assignment must be in your own words. So let us have a look at our first scenario here. Brock was recently rushed to Robina Emergency Department following a heart attack. Ooh, that sounds a bit grim. Following a series of tests, it was determined that his heart attack resulted in severe damage to a papillary muscle in his left ventricle, causing the heart valve on his left side to prolapse. So Brock is not in a good way. So in your 200 to 250 word response to this, you need to answer this question. So what effect would the heart attack have on the function on the left side of Brock's heart? So given this heart attack and the damage to the papillary muscle causing the heart to prolapse, how would that affect the left side of the heart and its function with Brock's heart? So that is your question. That is what you have to answer in this first scenario. And then down here, we just have a little bit of a guide. So in your response, you should be adhering to this little guide here. So you must describe the normal pathway of blood, including all the structures. You have to describe, where the blood is going. You need to describe the heart valves and how they're affected. Okay, this is where your marks are going to be awarded, okay, based on your response. The second scenario, before discharge from hospital, Brock's nurse discusses some risk factors of the myocardial infarction. In Brock's case, this includes his hypertension. The nurse also discusses with Brock the medications that have been prescribed to treat his hypertension, including calcium channel blockers and diuretics. So for this scenario, again, you need to describe how a calcium channel blocker works and how a diuretic works, and referring to the blood pressure equation to assist with your explanation. With these 4 scenarios, you will have, the scenario, which is the information being provided, the question that needs to be answered, and then just more information for you so you know the things that you definitely need to include in your answer. The third scenario, Joss has been diagnosed with emphysema, which is an obstructive disease of the airways. So Joss finds it relatively easy to breathe in, but when breathing out, his airways close and it's difficult to forcefully exhale. So in addition, emphysema leads to the destruction of the alveoli walls, leading to larger but fewer air sacs, i.e. alveoli. So again, we've got some interesting information here to help you with your response. So how does emphysema affect the normal function of Joss's respiratory system? So again, he has emphysema. How is that going to affect Joss's ability to breathe and move gases in and out of his body? So again, we've got some helpful advice here. So explain what these lung volumes and capacities that you think would be affected by Joss's obstructive respiratory condition. Explain how gas exchange is affected and why, okay? You don't just explain, oh yeah, here is the gas exchange in the alveoli. Why is that being affected? Why is that being changed? So make sure you read the responses here very, very carefully. And I would recommend treat them like a checkbox. So when you're constructing your response, start off going, okay, what are the lung volumes and capacities that have been affected? Did you explain them? And did you explain how they're affected by emphysema? Yes? Tick, okay? Tick it off the list. And the last scenario here, Abby has been previously diagnosed with chronic bronchitis, okay, a long-term inflammatory disease that is resulting in thick, viscous mucus obstructing multiple airways here. So Abby's recent visit diagnosed her with right side heart failure, which is an inability for the right side of the heart to work as an efficient pump, and due to her unmanaged pulmonary hypertension. So poor Abby is having a bad time. So the consequence of this is peripheral edema. So this is fluid shifting to the intravascular space to the interstitium, so the interstitial space there. So again, our fourth and final scenario, how does chronic bronchitis and right side heart failure affect the normal function of Abby's respiratory and cardiovascular systems? Now again, this is a big question. This is a loaded question. So be very sure to read these stimulus questions here more closely so you know exactly what you need to include in your answer. Now, my advice is question 4 has 8 marks associated with it. All of the other ones have 6 marks. So I would be more inclined to leave a little bit more words free for scenario 4 because it's going to need a little bit more detail. Remember, you have a 1,000 word limit. So you need to be very clear and concise with your response. The next thing I want to say, guys, is your answer should flow. It should be one 200 to 250 word statement for each of these scenarios. So for instance, scenario 1, what effect would the heart attack have on the function of the left side of Brock's heart? Then you have a 200 word statement. It should not be in dot points, or it should not be just addressing these things individually, okay? It should be one statement that answers all of these things succinctly. Please note that if you just use dot points, or if you just try to answer each of these little points here individually and not make the whole response to this scenario flow nicely, you will be penalized for that. If we scroll down to the bottom here, we can see the criteria on which you're going to be marked on. So basically, this is a simplified version of the question that's being asked for each of the scenarios and a breakdown of how those marks are being distributed. Please note as well, guys, that this must be referenced. You must include the source of the information that you have researched, whether they are academic journals, whether they are textbooks or reputable sources. Please note that just random Googling or unverifiable sources will be penalized. You also must reference correctly. Okay, this is an APA style referencing. I've included information in the 1808 Moodle page. Please make sure you do check that out if you are unsure with how to reference correctly. So guys, I hope this quick little video was helpful in terms of explaining the breakdown of this assignment. Please note that it is due Friday, week 7. Okay, so please make sure you get onto it nice and early. Please don't leave it to the last minute. This is a fantastic opportunity for you all to earn some extra marks and really boost your grade up as we continue working towards the end of trimester exam. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.